Good morning and greetings and best wishes on this Epiphany weekend from Northumberland. First, an apology. I had a technical difficulty with distributing the night prayer film last night. It is there on YouTube, but it was very difficult to share yesterday. And so just a little reminder that if you don't get to it, if nothing comes, you can always find it on the YouTube channel. If we've been able to do one. If not, I distribute a Northumbrian community one. I am very sorry about that, but sometimes these things don't go very well technically. This weekend we celebrate the Epiphany. Some churches on Friday, and many churches will do so this week. And in these continuing weeks of the Epiphany in January, we'll be looking at the baptism of Jesus and the wedding at Cana of Galilee, and what they say to us about the revelation of Christ to us, and the way in which God calls us to live a new life in him. And as I was thinking about this morning, I was reminded of the poem The Journey of the Magi by T.S. Eliot. And the poem describes their coming, and describes in very strong language the experience of coming to Bethlehem. And then it speaks, and I have to take my glasses off to read this, then it speaks about leaving. We return to our palaces, these kingdoms, but no longer at ease there in the old dispensation, with alien people clutching their gods. I could have been glad for another death. The way it's written, the kings are changed by their experience of the encounter with the young Christ, and they are never really comfortable with the old world. I always take the other death to be an allusion to the way in which Christians talk about baptism as a dying to one life and a being born again to a new life, of the move from darkness to light, from despair to hope, from darkness to light. And it brings me to another aspect of the Epiphany. In many churches, either last week or this week or next week, chalk will be blessed, and people will be asked to go home and inscribe on their doors the year 2023 and the letters C, MB, Caspar, Melchior, Balthasar, but really, Christ bless this house. And we as Christians will have the opportunity to put at the doors of our house, either on the door itself or on the doorway, this prayer that Christ will bless us. And it is a prayer for the constant presence and knowledge of Christ in our lives. That like the kings, we who encounter Christ can never be the same again. Because to encounter Christ calls us to live in a changed way, in a way that seeks the encompassing love of Christ. I spoke yesterday of the Celtic Christian tradition, binding Christ to us. And this prayer for God's blessing is in the same tradition, that we ask God to bless and keep us through this coming year, day by day, hour by hour, that our lives may be constantly and consciously changed by the presence of God guarding and keeping us. And we ask that for Ukraine, Iran, Afghanistan, for all the dark places in the world and in our own country, that the presence and light of Christ will be a transforming and a protecting veil around us all. May God bless us. Amen.